A Serpent's Confession. My name is Johann Schmidt. You know the other name. The name whispered in fear. The Red Skull. A monster. A demon carved from flesh. That is the story you have been told. And it is true, in its way. But it is not the whole story. No story ever is. A story is a weapon. You shape it to cut the way you want it to. I am here now, in this endless twilight, with nothing but time to shape my own story. Not for you, not for history, for myself, to see if the pieces still fit. Do you know what it is to be born into nothing? Not just poverty. Nothing. I was born in a village that had already died and just didn't know it yet. My first breath was of cold, wet air that smelled of mud and sickness. My mother died bringing me into that world. Her last gift to me was a life she did not want to give. My father looked at me, this screaming red thing, and he saw the reason his wife was gone. He saw a debt, a burden. He tried to drown me in a bucket of water. Right there, in the room where my mother's body was still warm, he was stopped. But I never forgot. My first memory is not of a mother's smile or a father's embrace. It is of the dark, swirling water, and the feeling of a man's hands, his own father's hands, pushing me toward death. That is the world I was born into. A world that tried to kill me before I could even see it clearly. Is it any wonder I saw the world as an enemy? As something to be conquered, to be broken, before it could break me again? I grew up on the streets. I was a rat in the gutter. I learned to steal before I learned to read. I learned that a fist was a better argument than a word. I learned that kindness was a lie people told themselves to feel better about their own weakness. You show someone kindness. They see an opportunity. You show them strength. They see a reason to obey. It is the simple, brutal truth of existence. I was hungry, always hungry, not just for food. That was a constant ache, a fire in my belly that never went out. I was hungry for more. I would look at the clean people in their fine clothes, walking in their clean streets, and I would feel a hatred so pure, so hot, it was the only thing that kept me warm at night. They had everything. I had nothing. Why? Because of luck? Because of fate? No. Because the world was designed to be unequal. It was designed to have predators and prey, and I would not be prey any longer. I tried to be an artist. Did you know that? I tried to create beauty. I thought maybe if I could make something beautiful, I could put some beauty inside myself. But my hands only knew how to take, not how to create. My drawings were full of sharp lines and dark shadows. They were ugly. They were a reflection of the world I saw, the world as it truly was. No one wanted to see that truth. They wanted pretty lies, flowers and smiling children. I wanted to draw the skull beneath the skin. Then I met him, the leader. He was speaking to a crowd in a small beer hall, and for the first time in my life I heard someone say the things I had always felt. He spoke of strength, of purity, of a nation that had been brought to its knees, just like I had. He spoke of a glorious destiny, of a world remade, a world of order. He saw me. In a room full of people, his eyes found mine. He did not see a dirty street orphan. He saw the hunger in my eyes. He saw the fire. He saw a tool, a weapon. He gave me a purpose. He told me I was not nothing. He told me I was part of a great and powerful idea. I joined his party. I wore the uniform. I felt a sense of belonging for the first time, but it was not enough. The party was built around one man. His vision was too small. He spoke of one nation, one people. I saw a bigger picture. I discovered Hydra. It was an old idea, older than his nation, older than any nation. A simple, perfect belief. Humanity cannot be trusted with its own freedom. It is a child playing with a loaded gun. It will always, always shoot itself. It needs a firm hand, a guiding voice. One will to steer the ship. Cut off one head, and two more shall take its place. It was not a motto. It was a promise, an eternal truth. The leader's vision would die with him. But Hydra was forever. Hydra was the true goal, to create a world of perfect order, a world where no child would be born in a gutter as I was. A world where there was no chaos, no uncertainty. A world where everyone knew their place. A world governed by absolute strength. They gave me resources. They gave me scientists. We searched for the old magic, the power of the gods. The leader thought it was a path to winning his war. I knew it was the path to winning everything. Forever. We found the Tesseract. When I held it in my hands, you cannot understand. It was like holding a star. The energy of creation itself. I saw it all. A universe of endless possibilities, and I held the key. I could build a new world, a better world. A world of my design. To wield that power, I needed to be more than a man. I took the serum, the same serum they later perfected for their golden boy, their Captain America. But for me, it was different. It was raw, unfinished. The pain was indescribable. It felt like my bones were on fire, like my skin was being peeled from my body. But it was more than pain. It was a purification. It burned away all the weakness. It burned away Johann Schmidt, the scared, hungry boy from the gutter. It burned away the failed artist, the petty thief. And when it was over, I looked in the mirror. My face, it was gone. In its place was the truth. The skull beneath the skin. I was not disfigured. I was revealed. This was my true face. The face of Hydra. The face of the future. I was no longer a man. I was an idea, a promise, a god. And then he came. Captain America. He was everything I was not. He was handsome. He was noble. He was loved. He was a lie. A beautiful, shining lie in a star-spangled suit. He preached about freedom. Freedom! What is freedom but the freedom to starve? The freedom to fail? The freedom to be weak? He fought for a world that had left me to die in the dirt. I did not hate him. Not in the way you think. I despised what he represented. He was the embodiment of the chaos I sought to destroy. He was the sentimental dream that kept humanity in chains, slaves to their own foolish emotions and flawed choices. Our war was not about nations. It was a war of ideas. His world, or mine. A world of chaotic, painful freedom, or a world of peaceful, absolute order. He fought with a shield, a defensive weapon. He wanted to protect the broken world as it was. I fought with the power of the gods. I wanted to burn it all down and build something pure in its place. He was strong. I will admit that. The serum worked on him perfectly. It made him the best version of a man. It made me something more. He was the peak of human potential. I was the next step. Evolution. On the Valkyrie, high above the world, we had our final battle. He was so determined, so certain in his foolish beliefs. He would die for a flag. I would die for a new world. We were opposites, two sides of the same coin, forged in the same fire. I had the Tesseract. I had won. I told him that I held the power of the gods. And I did. I activated it. I felt the energy surge through me, the power to unmake reality. But power has its own rules. The Tesseract was not a weapon. It was a doorway, a key to a place I did not understand. It did not give me what I wanted. It gave me what it believed I deserved. It judged me. The light was blinding. It was not hot. It was cold. Colder than the winter streets of my childhood. I felt myself being torn apart, atom by atom. I screamed, but I had no voice. I was pulled across space, across time. I saw galaxies born and die in an instant. I saw truths no mortal mind was ever meant to see. And then I was here, Formia, the center of celestial existence, a place of dust and silence under a dying Sunday, a prison of endless twilight. I, who wanted to control the world, became a prisoner of the universe. I, who called myself a god, became a slave to a rock, the Soul Stone. My curse was to be its keeper, a guide, a ghost. I was no longer the Red Skull, I was just a stonekeeper. Stripped of my ambition, my power, my very name. The ultimate irony.
I spent my life seeking power over others, and my reward was to spend eternity as a signpost for those on the same foolish quest.
For decades I have stood on this cliff. I have watched the stars turn. I have seen countless souls arrive, their hearts full of greed and desire. They come seeking the stone. They come seeking power. I tell them the price. A soul for a soul. I have seen fathers sacrifice daughters. I have seen lovers sacrifice each other. I have seen more pain, more love, more sacrifice than I ever thought possible. I, who believed love was a weakness, have been forced to watch it become the ultimate currency of the cosmos. The Mad Titan came. Thanos. He reminded me of myself in a way. His ambition. His clarity of purpose. His belief that he alone could save the universe from itself. He brought his daughter. He loved her. I saw it in his eyes. And yet, he threw her from the cliff. He shed a tear. A real tear. And in that moment, he had something I never did. Something to lose. I had nothing to lose. My entire life, I had nothing. I never loved anyone. How could I? No one had ever loved me. My father tried to kill me. The world tried to starve me. The leader used me. Love was a vulnerability I could not afford. It was a chain, and I wanted to be free, or so I told myself. Now, I have nothing but time to think. Was my quest for order truly about saving humanity? Or was it about saving myself? Was I trying to build a world with no pain because my own pain was too much to bear? If someone had shown me kindness, one genuine moment of it, when I was a boy, would I have become the man I did? Would the skull have ever broken through the skin? These are pointless questions. Ghosts of a life long since past. The path was chosen, the die was cast. I made my choices. I stood by them. I still believe the world I wanted to create would have been better. A quiet, orderly world. A world without war, without hunger, without the random cruelty of fate. Yes, it would be a world without freedom. But what is freedom compared to peace? To security? They call me a villain, and I was. But every villain is the hero of his own story. I was trying to save the world from itself. The hero, Captain America, was trying to save it from me. Perhaps the truth is that the world did not want to be saved. It wants its chaos. It wants its messy, beautiful, painful freedom. It prefers the fire, even if it gets burned. My journey is over. I am an echo, a warning, a ferryman on a river of souls, forever bound to this place. I watch others grasp for the power I once held, and I know where their path leads. It leads to ruin. It leads to sacrifice. It leads to a cold, lonely eternity. My name is Johann Schmidt, and I am alone. I was born alone, I lived alone, and I will face eternity alone. That is my story, the one I tell myself, here in the endless twilight. The truth, carved not in stone, but in the silence between the stars.